jeans are torn, sweat coming through my shirt. Keep pushing even though it hurts. I'm chasing what I know is true. There's nothing that I would not do. When everyone around me drops, I'm never gonna ever stop. I won't waste another minute, no I won't. I'm a man on a mission.
Okay, welcome back to Right Quote Studios, everybody. We've got some special guests today, so I'm super excited to introduce you to the Affordacare team, and we've got Stephen Guilfoile here. Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we're so glad. We are definitely, I'm trying to think, what was we were collaborating, and there was like a bomb that went off, and that's exactly what this is. There's lots of good energy in the studio today, so super excited to be here. And we have the lovely and beautiful Miss Lonnie Ybar. Yes, thank you. How are you doing today, Lonnie?
I'm so good, Amy. Thanks for having us.
I love having women in the studios, like go women. And of course, I love the gentlemen as well. And Stephen is a true gentleman, so awesome. So today we wanted to get started, and we thought we would talk about a word that means so much to Steve, and that is transparency. I think it's a really important word. I think it's also probably on the uptrend right now. Obviously, when you're dealing with insurance or even financial advising and all those types of topics, it's just so important because you really want to be able to know that what you're listening to and spending time with, but also what you're spending money on, that you know you're getting the upfront, honest truth and transparency. So take it away from there.
At your point, I think transparency is more than just the insurance, it's just in life. I think people need now more than ever to have honesty and transparency. But when we talk about that for insurance, it's not just about what the agent's doing, but the entire purpose of the whole buying experience, right?
Absolutely.
So I know you guys have been just killing it in the P&C space. You know, that's property and casualty, car and home. Mm-hmm. And that's fairly more straightforward, I think. But when you get into these bigger groups what we specialize in is the major medical group insurance, a lot of those times the employers are just have a premium, they got a 10% increase, they pay it, and they think that's what it is. And so what we want to talk to you guys about today is it's not just about a number. There's a lot of things that you as an owner can do, and a lot of ways you can actually impact a lot of your employees in a really positive way.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear more about this too, because I feel like when you do get to such large numbers, I mean, rightfully so, I think that there can be just a hidden agenda there. I think there can also be a lot of facts that just don't always come out right away. And so how do you guys make sure that you're always, kind of keeping all those important statistics and, again, numbers. It's a numbers game. But how are you guys doing that? Tell us more.
Well, the current price that most groups are playing is the worst case scenario because they don't know anything, so they have to assume the worst, right? And so think about any insurance you've ever bought your whole life. There's questions, there's things that the underwriters are doing to take a calculated risk and most importantly be proactive versus reactive.
Okay.
So how that's done on the group side of it is what most groups, what they do is when they get the renewal increase, they either had a really good year, which means that their claims were less than their premiums, and then the insurance company keeps all that money. If they have a really bad year, that's where you see those 10-20% increases each year. And
it's been a huge topic lately too, with just the annual increases, because a lot of times it'll just continue. It just continues year after year after year. So
as a true fiduciary, we can look at any single company in the entire country and make sure that the number that you're getting, we're taking every single thing. That's where Lonnie comes in play big time.
So from your standpoint, tell us how you are, going in and helping out with that transparency. What it is that you're doing, because I know you love this. I heard you talking about it. We were talking yesterday in the studio, and you're very passionate about what you do, and you really are truly, truly watching out for the company, and you're also, keeping in mind of what product is right for that particular company. But just tell us, what is it that you're really looking for?
What I try to do is we try to calculate out how much you're going to be paying in for premiums and how much you're using in claims, because a lot of the time it's very eye-opening, and that's where the transparency piece happens is if we can look at your group, underwrite your group, and figure out how much your group will be using in claims, what ends up happening then is you should only be paying premiums based on that. You shouldn't be paying premium based upon, everyone having knee surgeries or, larger big ticket kind of medical expenses. You should only be paying it based upon what we believe your group is going to use. And that's part of that transparent piece.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to health insurance, it should be more individualized to the group and to the employer. and you should, really have a feel on what's going on claims-wise, because there's different carriers that are going to rate you more favorably, give you better premiums, and that's where the transparency piece comes into. It's really understanding how are your premiums breaking down, where does every dollar of your premium go to, and how much is going towards claims, and your claims, how much is getting used against that, and should you be getting a refund at the end of the year? There's so many different pieces to it that, we try to just open it up.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Lonnie. I think
fun.
Again, the word transparency, and cue the special sound. No, but with transparency, I think it is really also because I can tell you guys are passionate about what you're doing. I mean, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. You can see right through it. And of course, you're taking care of the clients or the companies, whichever you want. I mean, it's both, right? Your clients and the companies, and watching out for the amount of premium that they're paying. And also, I love listening to you because you're also doing the research. And sometimes I think that there has been situations where, again, like you say, it's like, oh, it just increased, but nobody did any research on it. And it's not anything against, any other broker or anything. But when you know this, right, knowledge is key, and transparent knowledge is even better. So that's great.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So bottom line, a lot of groups, I think they get scared of this term that's called self-insuring.
Okay.
And so what traditionally, it's either they're fully insured, which that means they have a guaranteed price. That's their price. They can't change it, right?
Okay.
So that's traditionally kind of thought as heads, insurance company wins, tails, you lose.
Oh, yeah.
And then again, it's either you have a renewal or the company makes a bunch of money. So when you self-insure, we can do this for groups of 2 people. So this is not what most people think of as a massive Fortune 10 company that does this. We're doing a self-insurance with a stop loss.
Oh.
So they get the best of both worlds. And so when we're going to talk about transparency, we're saying this is your premium for your stop loss, so it can never go bad for you. This is what you're putting your claims in and what you're actually going to get back potentially at the end of the year. And this is the cost of the admin, the work, the network, and everything else with it. So a lot of times when we have groups, we want that to be good for the company, we want it to be good for the employee, and we want it to be good for the agent, because we want that agent to work for you and continue to be that, have a vested interest in your success.
Absolutely.
Right?
They're your support system.
Yeah.
Watching
and so I think a lot of times we're either scared to talk about that, hey, this is a good thing not only for everybody involved, but the fact that every single action that we're taking is designed to keep that price as low as possible so we can continue in earning that business from them. So one of the things that Lonnie does incredible that I've never seen anybody do it this good. I mean, we're doing everything from looking at every single prescription that every single person has.
Oh,
and finding
wow.
ways that we can have offloaded claims. And
oh, my goodness. Is this true, Lonnie? You are just getting in there with like a fine-tooth comb, I feel like.
I will review the claims in detail, of course, just because I don't feel like I'm doing the client justice or the employer justice by just seeing them once a year, being like, here's your renewal, it just went up, or this or that. And so I believe part of my job is paying attention to what's going on during the year, trying to help their employees navigate their claims. Let's go to an imaging center as opposed to a hospital. Let's go to an urgent care as opposed to ER. And let's try to help everyone navigate what's going on. Therefore, we're not going to have a large increase the next year. I control the renewals, and I don't have to be breaking bad news to my employers. A lot of my groups, 90% of my groups have had a 0% renewal increase in the past 3 years.
Wow. 3 years without an increase.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You've got the buttons down, Lonnie. I was going to say, such a valuable asset to you, obviously, having Lonnie on your team, Stephen. I mean, you can feel it.
Yeah.
I'm sure the audience out there can feel it too. I love hearing about customer service. It's something I'm extremely passionate about. Of course, we all know I'm not a broker. And so my background is really customer service and making sure that there's a fluidity between our passion and then for our clients to feel that passion. And I'm certain that your clients also feel that same passion.
Oh my gosh, I love them dearly. I truly do. I look out for them, and I would never want to put them in a situation where they have to explain that their employees are going to be affected in their paycheck during renewal. Yeah. To me, that's just, I'm like, how could you? And so I just try to, my heart goes out when any time that happens, and the HR directors, we're trying to just protect everyone and just
Absolutely.
be protective over let's try to control what we can control with the cost so that we're not having bad discussions right in a great time of the year, you know? So.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that too, Lonnie,
Yes.
because I feel like it gives us some heart and soul of Affordacare. And I tell you what, that is super, super extraordinary to hear it and feel it. So
Yeah, and that's why that we actually encourage them to get rates from as many carriers as possible, right? Whether it's with us
Absolutely.
or not, you do the right thing for your company. And at the same time, we see this where there's, I think, some blind loyalty, and we kind of get lost in translation of saying, hey, we've been with this person for so long, and not knowing that, oh, maybe we haven't had an increase this many years, but there's also maybe millions of dollars that they've actually overpaid because they should have actually received that money back.
well, and I'm sure that Lonnie, you've experienced too. You know, every time they come up for that annual, it is really important. I can tell it because you've seen how much you can save. But then, even down the road, you know, after a couple of years, I'm sure you are watching each client and really becoming an expert at what you do, which is beautiful.
Huge advocate. And when we're getting brought in because someone, you know, there was a group we had and one of the carriers ended up decreasing their renewal was just awful. Their family rate was $4,000 a month.
Oh, wow.
And people couldn't afford to have their families insured, and it was just, you know, it was heartbreaking. And then I came in and we got all the premiums down. I saved them. It was 22 employees. We saved them $175,000 in premiums that year. And you know, I had the wives of husbands saying, "Thank you so much. I can finally insure my children." And so it was one of those things where I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, like I can't believe it was lucky. I had the HR director open to talking to me. She was looking for a solution and it worked out really, really well. And I was able to impact, you know, we ended up getting more employees on the plan and
Impacting lives.
we
It's
we
huge.
impacted it to the nth degree. And I just I didn't know until actually that group that it was such an impact. And I mean, people were grateful for it. And so it was
Absolutely.
It was a great time. It was that was last year. That was right now during open enrollment. Open enrollment's a very stressful, crazy time.
And like you said, during the holiday season.
During the holiday season, so I'm not working. I don't have time to necessarily be. I don't spend a whole ton of time. You know, Christmas is a day I'm stressed out because it's a day that the business, you know, that the underwriters are gone and I can't.
Because you care so much.
Yep. So I can't fix problems on Christmas, and so, but you know, once the doors open back up, I go back through and, you know, working hard just to get everyone their ID cards and everything by January 1. So it's a good time.
Awesome. At the end of the day, as a business owner, you got to realize that the number that you're seeing, that's something that you should question. It's something that you shouldn't just take for granted. And you should ask your broker those questions of what can we do, what creative ways to do this. Now, the group that saved them almost $200,000 for 22 people, that was also almost half the deductible that they had as well. So this isn't just coming in with a crappy plan and a better price. This is considerably better plan, considerably better price, and a true win-win. And again,
Okay, so this was actually one of the questions I was going to ask you too. Is when it comes time for your products, you know, just apples to apples. Like, and again, I think that's actually a really good point that, you know, you're getting more most of the time.
Yeah, because how often do you see this where you have groups that are saying, oh, I can save you $1 here or save 15% here. And what you don't have translated is it may not be apples to apples. And
You're getting something cut
to
out.
save money just means that other broker could have probably done that and just had your benefits go in half. You know, kind of like saying, hey, we need to save our electricity costs. Let's just unscrew half our light bulbs. It doesn't actually make them pay less. It just changes the type of coverage, right?
Yeah, that's great. Wow, that's huge. Okay, so straight from the Affordacare team, we're obviously talking about transparency today. And I'm so grateful for Lonnie and Steve to come in today and talk to us just about, again, watching your annual premiums for your group and making sure that your broker's watching out for you and looking for the best product for your team. Anything else you guys want to share just last minute?
I just want to say thank you guys for looking so good.
Oh, thank you.
And you as well, Steve. All right. Awesome. Thanks so much. And we'll welcome you back to Right Quote Studios next time.